All right, everybody, welcome to another session of Deep Dive Training. If you're joining us online, welcome. If you are here in the classroom, again, welcome. We are in the second phase of our of our training. So for what we do, we've been talking about the 5 P's, and we are in the second P. Who remembers what all the P stands for? Anybody? Yelena, what's the first P?
I have no idea.
What's the last P?
Profit.
Profit. You know the last P, right? You're trying to make a profit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but the first P I wrote was prepared.
First P?
It's prepared.
Preparation.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Is this a continuation of the last one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Every week we continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me go all the way back up to the first place.
The second P is promotion. The third P is proposal. And the fourth P is performance, right? So this is what we're going to be going through. So we go through these different phases here of the 5 P's. And if you do this here, you get to profit. So today we are on promotion. So we've been talking about many different things. This week for our deep dive training session here, we will be on promotion. And let's go into that section. Now, to do this here, we do all of our trainings for our deep dive. It comes from our Gov Fast Track software. If you don't have it yet, at some point you might want to consider getting this here. If you don't have it, that's fine. We do all of our trainings, so you can also access it here. But if you can go to govfasttrack.com to access the software. I'm already logged in, so I'm going to go ahead and log in and take us into the Gov Fast Track software. So we are in the promotion phase. So we've gone through the preparation, and now we're in the promotion phase. So last week we got together, we talked about image, we talked about your brand, and we talked about your business name, we talked about creating a marketing message, we talked about your vision statement, we talked about that. So anybody created their vision statement? Anybody?
I have a vision statement, but I changed everything because as of last month I changed my company, put services into it because I thought it needed to be broader.
Okay.
Versus just C. Harper Enterprises. So I need to add a few words in what I have.
So why don't you C. Harper Enterprises Services?
I put C. Harper Services Enterprise.
Okay. Why?
Because I thought we always said that services made the big difference. Versus just.
No, C. Harper Enterprises is fine. If you were going to do a name change, I would have suggested to do Harper Enterprises. C. Harper, it's hard for people to remember C. Harper. So I would just go with Harper Enterprises or Harper Solutions or Harper Group or Harper International. Or now, if you can't find 2 words, then go with 3 words, like Harper International Group, Harper Solutions Group, Harper something like that. But yeah. But for your business name, C. Harper is okay. C. Harper Enterprise is fine because that's general enough already. So you didn't need to add services. That just makes it harder to even remember.
Well, I'm going to DBA as C. Harper Enterprises anyway because that name is already out there. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing business as C. Harper.
Okay.
But I just thought services because we do the training, the staffing, the coaching.
Yeah, I mean, but you didn't need to put services in there.
Okay.
Yeah, from a business name perspective.
Okay.
Yeah. It's unique for every different, what works for you may not all necessarily be best for somebody else, but in your situation, your business, I would go with, just Harper something. Because C confuses the mind in terms of what does C stand for. And, but again, if it's your business name, you love it, you keep it, it's fine. I'm just giving you my thoughts on it.
Yeah, because as I'm working with my email addresses on Proton Mail, thank you.
Okay, good.
Thank you for Wix. Well, I mean, I don't know if you told me about Proton now. I'm not going to give you credit for that, but thank you for I love Wix. It's like you could just stay on there forever.
Yeah.
You keep going like a crazy person. But my name is so long, Zandvon Project Consulting. It's kind of long, LLC. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm just,
I'm
keeping it. That's my daughters, both of their names, pieces of their names. But I mean, I'm leaving a legacy for them. This is my start.
Right.
I don't know. What were you saying?
Let's spell your business name.
Zandvon.
VON.
Yes.
I just go with Zandvon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would take up the.
They don't need to know what I do there. I paid all this money and got incorporated. Now I need to go back and change everything.
Don't.
Help me understand. I think I'd have to go back and change everything.
And then you have to make sure that the EIN number, because this is why I had to go through this part, make sure that the EIN number, because it did match with C. Harper Enterprises, with C. Harper Services, but I had to send a letter in, get it, I'm waiting for it to come back. That's the only reason I haven't been bidding on stuff.
Okay, wow.
So what do you suggest that we do with that?
Well, for your SAM registration, they want to make sure that for cage code to be approved, they want to make sure that everything matches up.
Right.
Yeah. So that's just you just got to do.
So you changed your name to what?
It's never changed.
So
it's always been Zandvon Project Consulting LLC.
So I would, just use Zandvon. Well, I don't know.
You mean doing business as, maybe change everything on my letterhead, on my online marketing material? I'm just confused. I'm sorry. I don't understand.
Yeah.
No, so from a branding perspective, Zandvon is already a unique name, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's not a real word, so it's unique enough already.
Okay.
So from a commercial perspective, project consulting is fine. But from a government contracting purposes, the more general you are, the better.
So do I have to go back and pay money to change everything with all the different organizations?
You don't have to. You just go with a DBA as Zandvon.
Okay. Do a business as. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Ideally, you do a name change with the Secretary of State. That's the ideal way to do it. But if you don't have to, you can just do a DBA. And you just go with Zandvon, because Zandvon is unique enough. The reason why you want to have like 3 words is because you can't find the domain name. Because most of the time people say they might go with Zebra Project Consulting, and Zebra Consulting is gone, so they go with Zebra Project Consulting, and they put more words so that the domain name can be available. But in your situation, Zandvon, is Zandvon.com available?
Absolutely. Zandvon.
Hey, come on in. Did you register the domain name already? Zandvon.com?
You know me. I wanted to talk to you guys and make sure that. See, now I'm glad I did it because I wanted to talk to you guys first and get your feedback on that. That's why I sent those emails out. Thank you for responding because I know y'all not supposed to. Y'all have to do that. So yes, I guess I'll go ahead and commit now. Not tonight or tomorrow.
Well, I'm gonna buy it, and then you're gonna have to. I'll resell it to you for $1,000.
Yeah, a lady did that. A lady did that to what is it? Commentator, African American commentator that comes on late at night. She bought his name in 8 different ways. She says, "I'm selling to you for $1 million."
I've heard about that. It's overseas.
Yeah, everywhere. And he said to her, "My mama gave you that name. I'm not buying it from you. I'll just come up with another one." She says, "Well, I know what you're going to be. I know who you are." And he said, "You need to learn to protect and buy the right name before somebody else holds it hostage."
Well, no, that's called Cyber Squad.
Cyber Squad.
So you're telling me, go ahead and handle your business, go ahead and buy.
Yeah. Zandvon.com. That's the best name for your company.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna buy it.
When I get ready, I can change it with the Secretary of State. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, do you own your own name?
You mean which name, Dan? Which name you have?
So, I own my own name, abramsion.com. So I own my own. Do you own your own name? No, I'm talking about your domain name. That's your own name. CynthiaHarper.com. Do you own that?
No, I don't own Cynthia Harper Enterprises.
Okay, why not?
But I guess I should own CynthiaHarper.com because it's about to be so on and popping. Everybody's going to have that name.
How much money are we talking when you say
It's
the word?
$10 a year.
Okay, you told me.
Yeah, it's your domain name. It's your domain name. You need to protect your name.
A month on.
Yes.
Okay, well, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about branding. So
Sure.
I'm talking about
You're right.
your name. You need to own your own domain name of your own namesake.
Where do you get it for $10 a year?
You buy your domain name. Like for me, I bought abrahamsion.com. I've owned it for like over 10 years. I don't want anybody else to own my name because someone else might use it for a porn site.
Wix
Or-
is who I've been working with. Wix, my website.
I'm going to go and reserve C.
Yeah.
I'm going to do C. Harper.
Yeah.
Wix is who I like.
That might be hard to do, though. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, so I own my own domain name. If somebody goes to it, it goes to my own site. So
Look at yourself.
Yeah, of course I do. I just do myself. It's my
You're a
website.
web designer?
Not at all. I'm just an IT project manager. But,
okay, so we're talking about your brand, your image. So those are some of the early tips, right? Get your own domain name. Own your own. So it's tip number 1.
I'm gonna interrupt one time.
Own your
I mean,
namesake.
password.
Okay. The password is
Origin. Click on Origin. You find Origin?
Is it GCA?
No, go to Origin. Because this is Origin on this side over here.
G.
Oh, connected automatically.
Yeah.
Okay, Origin,
Yeah.
no capitals.
And then, the password?
Yeah.
The password is ORI
ORI.
08.
Oh.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me pull it down. Let me double check. Yeah, 08. Not O, but 08. Let me give me 1 second. So that I can, because I don't use this one on this side. It's already pre-programmed for me. So, but I'll give it to you right now.
While you're doing that, where did you buy your domain name for $10 a year? Because Wix is telling me 10 a month.
No, that's hosting.
Yeah, that's hosting.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have, like, owning it, he means you're not even.
Just the domain name.
Nobody else can get it, like, they go there, they're like, it's taken. Not necessarily have the website, but just own it. So where do you buy it, I guess the question is, come back around to.
I'm going too fast. Let them find what you're looking for first.
Okay, you ready?
I am ready.
ORI, our lowercase,
ORI
0801
0801
2017.
017. Should have wrote that down just in case.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I don't know.
Well,
Let's write that down.
ORI 0801 2007. That's the date that we moved into this space here.
ORI
0801 2017. So
You're getting ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, really get ready.
It's over here. Next. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, I might be buying a computer.
When you buy a computer today, my brother.
No, I'm not gonna claim any of that.
Who better you than me? I'll be having a hissy fit right about now.
Nah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna claim that it's not gonna
No,
last
it's
anymore.
fine.
I just ordered a new one for my mom that arrived today. I might just do it.
No, it's fine. It didn't even get
I better got work forget about the table. Let me get some more. Yeah.
Did it get in there?
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, she's always
Richard!
causing this storm.
Stop it. Okay, it's fine. We'll know in a few days.
I'm gonna be around. That's ain't going nowhere.
Is that what it means?
Obviously, no.
I protect this thing like it's gold.
Mhm.
I protect this. No children, no food, get away.
Yep.
I love this thing. It's
Good.
segment. Thank you so much.
You're a very good spirit.
Somebody hit my BMW, and I mean, come on. She was crying. She was like, oh, she's an old lady. What was I going to do? I just gave her a hug. It worked out for me. I got $3,000 out of it. I mean,
Yeah.
You got to be nice. You can't be ugly.
Yep.
I mean, just, you read what you said.
All right. So any question about your name, your brand, and so forth? All right. So let's go into more detail. So part of your branding is your marketing collateral. And so we talk about your name, brand, all that stuff. So now let's talk about capability statements. The government does not use brochures, right?
Right.
They use capability statements. So once you're ready to start marketing, you want to use capability statements. And I'm going to pull up a sample here. So you need 3 types of capability statements. Let me type it out.
I never understood why you need 3 times.
Marketing collateral. I'll tell you in 1 second. Capability statements. So the first type is you need a 1-pager. And your 1-pager is for email marketing. That's what it's used for. Your 2-page document is used for face-to-face.
Presentations?
Nope. Networking. So when you're at a matchmaking event, you're out there networking with somebody. You take a 2-page document, is printed front and back. So it's still, to them, it's still 1 page.
Okay.
But now you have more information because it's front and back. So but the 2 pages for printing purposes. And then your long version, which is 4 to 8 pages. This is your long version, is when they ask for more information about your company. So you send the 1-pager, and you're marketing, you're emailing, and they say, oh, can you send me more information about your company? Then that's when you send the 4 to 8 page long version. So let's look at some examples of the 1-pager. Well, let's talk about why you need a capability statement first. I just said you need one, but let me go through it quickly. And what it is, why you need it, and now I'm not going to go through all of this here because there's just so much information. We don't have time for it, but I'm going to hit a few key points. Skip through all of my stuff here. Okay, so marketing mistakes to avoid, right? Using commercial literature to market to government buyers, that's a no-no. Typically, you have a brochure. You don't want to use brochures when you're marketing the government market. You want to use capability statements. If you use a brochure, they're going to say you don't speak their language. And you want to, when you're marketing, don't use a long version. Don't go lengthy because they get bombarded all the time. You want to send only the 1-pager, which is your door opener. Treat the 1-pager as your door opener. And if you're using a one-size-fits-all capability statement, that's a mistake you don't want to do. For example, you're marketing to the CDC. The CDC is into, they're separate. You have to speak to your audience, right? If you're marketing to the CDC, it's different from you marketing to the Department of Energy. Those are 2 different agencies. It's kind of like your business, like your personal resume. When you're trying to get a job with a manufacturing company, you put your manufacturing experiences. You're not going to go and put your IT, experiences when you're applying for a manufacturing position. You want to appropriately tweak your capability statement based on who you're marketing to. And I'll go into more of how you do that. So why do you need one? You need it because the government doesn't use brochures. You need it because this is the way you market to government buyers. It speaks to government buyers. And this is a great door opener. You want to use it for emailing purposes. It opens up doors for you to build relationships. And it allows you to show them that you speak governese. You speak their language. And then addresses the specific needs of your buyers. So you want to tweak your document to address the buyers. That entices the buyers to consider you because you're going to stand out if everybody else, doesn't have the right marketing tools. Capability statement is usually easy to understand because it's one page. Is exact. The title says capability statement. There's no confusion on what it is. Saves you time and money, and you normally you want to send it to them in PDF format. Don't send it to them in Publisher. Don't send it to them in Word doc. Don't send it to them in PDF. And ultimately, it leads you to more contracts. So if you have a bad one or you have no capability statement, that's not good. The door will close on you. It's going to prove that you don't speak governese if you don't have one. Proves that you don't understand this government market, and it makes you look risky to them. The government does not like risk. When you look risky, they go with somebody else who's less risky than you. One of the reasons why government continues to award contracts to large companies and not to small businesses is because large companies are not risky. Even though they cost more to the government, they're the least risk to the government. And they don't want to take a chance on a small business because they're afraid that if they award you a contract, you're going to mess it up. They're going to look bad. They can lose their job. So contracting officers don't like risk. And then if you don't have one, or if you have a bad one, it makes you look weak. And sometimes it kills your credibility if you can't make a good first impression. And you can win less if you don't have the right tools. So what is not a brochure, is not a 10-page marketing package. Some people have a nice old folder, stair step on it. You open it up, stair step, and it's nice and pretty. It costs them like $10 a folder. And they hand that to a government contracting officer. You know where that goes? In the trash. You just need the one-pager, nice printed stock paper, and that's it. Or if you're emailing, you don't really need to print it. Saves you money. It's not a flyer. It's not a coupon. It's not a one-size-fit-all. It's not expensive to create. It's cheap. It's easy to create.
What if you do the email and you have hyperlinks where it goes straight to your?
You can do that too.
I don't want to, but somebody can overdo it, like, oh, they're trying to be too fancy, but that'll be okay.
You could do that with the link and also the download. You can do both because they're going to do one of the two.
I always like whenever I'm looking at an email, if it's something I'm interested in, I can tell, and it puts the hang out. I can go through it. I love that.
Yeah, that makes it easy for them. Yeah.
Now, for small, like me, I'm really starting bidding, going after contracts, and hopefully teaming with the right people and stuff. Is this the same concept to be used to going after bigger companies? Because to be honest with you, okay.
Yeah. If they're in the government market, they understand capability statement.
Yeah, it's a government. So yeah.
But if they're not in the government market, you.
Oh, I know. Yeah, believe me, I've been in this business, been on the major side, but I think it's important that we go after the big companies with the same mentality because they're already in there.
Yes. Yeah.
And
unless they're in the commercial market only, then use brochures.
Use the brochure.
But if they're in the government market and you said, do I give them a brochure or do I give them a cable statement? Just give them a cable statement.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna ask a quick question, then I'm gonna let y'all be rid of me because I got this coughing going on. But I did my capability statement. You know, you guys told me to brand myself as a general project manager.
Yeah.
But I can still go after IT work in different ones.
Absolutely.
So will I still have to do like 5 different capability statements?
Yes.
Okay.
You do one. So the one pager, you want to have multiple variations. So you want to have one that's a generic one. So like, you know, kind of like your resume. When you're saying, hey, you know what, this is the one I blast out to 2 or 3 different companies, and if they don't call me back, it's okay. And so you do a generic one. You can list like 5 or 6 different areas that you specialize in. But when you're specifically have targeted a contracting officer, you said, I want to build a relationship with this person, then you want to talk about their interests and what they're good at and what you're good at specifically for their needs and so forth. And so if they're not buying project management, you don't list your project management experiences. You list what they're buying.
Right.
And so that's a specific one-pager. So different agency, you should be able to use the generic one for multiple agencies, but then you want to use a specific one for key agencies that you want to build long-term relationships with. All right, so what is a capability statement? It's a factual representation of the company. It focuses on the need of the agency. This is important. It focuses on the need of the agency.
Will you email this these or no? This comes out of the software, so you don't email.
Yeah, it's in the software, but if you need a copy of this here, just shoot me an email and I'll send it to you. It's a short bio of your company, and think of it almost like a business resume, not a personal resume, a business resume. And you want to create specialized capability statement. Hey, come on in.
Hi.
It is a living document, meaning that it's always going to evolve and change.
Can this document become more than 1 page? Should it? I know it shouldn't.
No.
No.
Now you can have 3 versions. Remember?
Yeah.
The 1-pager, the 2-pager, but it's printed front and back, and the 4 to 8 pages of more information. So if you want to make it longer, do the 4 to 8 pages.
Because the first one was just to basically go over your highlights and what you do.
Yep.
And then if they're interested, like you said, they're like, hey, we need some more information.
Yep.
And that one is on your resume. I mean, your internet, isn't it? Your website.
The 1-pager?
Yeah.
Your cape?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your capability statement should be on your.
Should be on your internet.
Yes, it should be on your website.
Your website.
All right, so there's different versions. So you got the short version, and then you've got the long version, 3, 6, 8 pages. You know, something. If it's more than 2 pages, I consider a long version. So the 1-pager is for emailing purposes. The 2-pager is for printing front and back. All right, so let's go into door opener. High level, you can talk about many different things. And then you have the specific version, and that's more the narrow one for specific agency, and that goes with a narrow focus. So if you're doing IT and you're doing work with Cyber Command Fort Gordon, then you want to send your IT stuff.
Would it be something like just using like the Atlanta Housing Authority compared to whatever, Fort Gordon, or whatever, right? So Fort Gordon's arrows, you know, more focus on space or whatever.
Yes.
So if I have a specific and interest, I just want to mention that, right? So I want to mention something that would directly associate with something they do.
Yes. So if you go to Atlanta Housing Authority, then you want to focus on property management. You want to focus on things that they work with.
Red flags for them. Oh,
yes.
We need that.
Yeah.
Well, like property management applications, like I think billings, like they used to do.
Yes.
This is back in the day. They used to do Oracle back in the day.
Yeah.
And so you was going after the housing authority. You would talk about your proficiency in Oracle, blah 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 blah.
Document management, document instruction, property management, things that speak to them.
To them.
If you're going to Fort Gordon, you want to talk about cybersecurity, all the things that they, and it can still be IT, but you're speaking to them. All right, so let's go into the, in terms of the RP, RFI sources sought, you want to create, it's created to meet the specific requirements. So in the RP or RFI or sources sought, the contracting officer may say, hey, we want you to respond and give us a copy of your capability statement. So that's the other reason why you need a capability statement, because they're going to ask you. You're trying to bid on a project, and they're going to ask you for your capability statement. And you want to send the version that matches the project you're bidding on. You don't want to send a version that's generic. You don't want to send a version that has nothing to do with the project. You want to specifically use the version that addresses that project itself.
Does that take the place of the business plan? Are they not going to, the government doesn't?
They're never going to ask you for your business
I
plan.
love that, thank God, but I still have to have one, right? Because I mean, I want to get funding from her.
Yes. Business plan is served for what purpose? Two main purposes, right?
Well, the one to keep you on track.
Funding.
Yes. One is to keep on your track. You come up with the roadmap and keep you on track. The other is so you can raise money. Yeah. Outside of that, you don't need a business plan. See you later. So there's 6 C's in the capability statement. The first C is codes. The second C is core competencies. The third C is company data. The fourth C is your corporate expertise or your differentiators. And then the fifth C is your clients. And in the government market, it's called past performance. But I put clients because it sticks with the C. But they really want past performance. And so when you're listing it, don't call it clients, just call it past performance. But for training purposes, I use C because I'm sticking with this theme here. And then number 6 is your contact information. So these are the 6 C's in a capability statement. So let's go into more details. Codes. So codes, you want to list your NAICS codes, your PSC codes, NIGP codes, relative to the industry you're going after. For example, your capability statement to the state of Georgia. Do they need NAICS code, PSC code, SIC code, or NIGP codes?
I mean,
NAICS, SIC, and
State of Georgia. State of Georgia.
Don't they use NAICS and SIC?
Nope.
They use,
They use mainly NIGP codes.
what are NIGP codes?
That's what the state. It stands for the National Institute of Government
Procurement or something?
Procurement Numbers or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you go to the Georgia marketplace, they use NIGP codes. If you go to federal, they use NAICS codes.
Different codes serve same purpose.
Yeah. I don't know why the state didn't shift to NAICS code. They should, but I mean, you could still use NAICS code at the state level. It's just not what they're standardized on.
and if you use the NIGP, then that will make them feel better.
Yeah, because you're speaking to them, and that's why I said you have to appropriately use based on who you're marketing to.
Well, since we're here, what's a PS?
PSC is product service codes, and that you really don't need anymore. You only use that when you register in SAM, but you don't need to list it on your capability statement. Yeah. SIC code, you don't need to list it on there. Mainly NAICS code for, if you just have NAICS code, you're fine. But if you're marking the state, it's more ideal to use NIGP codes. Yeah. And these are the different links where you can get those there. If you want to take a quick picture of this, you're welcome to do that. Or you just Google NIGP and it'll show right up. That's because this link is too long. So your cage code, your DUNS number, all these are considered under your codes. So you want to list it on your capability statement. Your DUNS number is probably the most important. If you don't have room and you have to choose between your cage code and your DUNS number, go with your DUNS number. Don't use your cage number.
Now, since I've changed and put services in my name, will my DUNS number change?
No.
Okay. I was getting ready to call them tomorrow, but I just wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, you just go into your profile and do did you update, I update already on Dun & Bradstreet?
No.
So that's first you update it with Dun & Bradstreet.
Okay.
Go to I update and then log in. Have you ever logged into I update?
No.
Okay.
When I,
So that's what you want to do. You want to log into I update.
okay.
And it's an odd name like iupdate.dmb.com.
Okay.
So you come here. If you have a login, do it. If you don't have it, just search for your company.
I do have it, so just go ahead and do that.
Yeah. And then go through the process, claim your company, and then once you're in, has the Secretary of State cleared yet?
Yes.
Okay, if they clear, then Dun & Bradstreet can pull the information in here.
Great.
Is it true that you get a DUN number regardless as soon as you have to apply for a DUN number?
Generally, you have to apply for it unless you're applying for some type of business credit. Then the vendor might go to Dun & Bradstreet and say, hey, I'm extending credit to this company, and then Dun & Bradstreet will create a profile for you.
So just call them and check. I mean, I don't know why.
Most of the time, they already have a profile.
So we just started a new company. That's what I'm wondering. I went through Rocket Lawyer. They did everything, state rules, and we got our operating agreement and all that. But since I have an EIN, does it automatically generate a DUN number, or do I need to call them and have them generate a DUN number?
So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, because they pull from the Secretary of State also. So if you go in here, and come on, take me back. Okay. But if you go to I update, and it's going to say search lookup, I update company lookup.
It's called I update.
Yeah, I update. And go to company lookup and just look up your business. What's the name of your business?
N3 Capital Lending. That's the
M3.
N is in Nancy, the number 3.
3.
Capital Lending.
Capital Lending. Okay.
That's not why I'm here, but.
Yeah. And city is Atlanta, or what city? Smyrna. Okay. Georgia. All right. The company enter was not found, so you're not in the system.
Yeah, it was just maybe 4 months ago.
Yeah.
But in 4 months, it shouldn't be in the system?
So, if you're not applying for credit, or you're not doing any type of thing with your business name, sometimes it's not going to show up. And so you can call them. Yeah. You just call them and say, hey, you're applying to be a government contractor and you need your DUNS number, and they're going to assign to you free, no cost, and not cost you anything. If you tell them you're applying to be a government contractor. If you're calling them asking for DUNS number, they're going to say, okay, that'll be $450.
Right.
They just lost the class action lawsuit, for.
Yeah, because they were slamming people and they were deceiving people.
I signed the paperwork with.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? How much was it? Like $5?
No, it was like $260.
Wow.
I was
Okay.
like, yeah.
That's good. Hey, money found.
And it only took like 6 months because they were taking advantage of people.
Yeah, they were abusive. Yeah. All right, so let's continue here. So you need your codes, and then part of your codes is your certifications and your contracted vehicles, any things that you have, GSA schedules, any IDIQ contracts you guys have. That should be part of your codes.
The contract vehicles.
I was just thinking that.
Contract
like
vehicle.
GA70 is something that you've used to, I'm not sure, is it a physical thing or is it more like a program? Or?
Yeah, I always get confused, and I've been doing this for years. Contract.
So think of a contract vehicle. Think of it as a method of how they use to buy from you. So it's a methodology of how they buy from businesses.
Okay.
And 8A is considered a contracting vehicle. Even though it's a certification, but it's also a contracting vehicle.
And then isn't some GA70 or something?
GSA.
GSA 70.
GSA Schedule 70 is for IT.
For IT.
And so that's a type of contracting vehicle. You can get like an IDIQ contract. An IDIQ contract is where they choose 5 companies and they award a contract to 5 companies. Like in IT, there's a lot of IDIQ contract. And then whenever there's a project, there's a task order. They might say, hey, we need someone to troubleshoot this software. And then they put out a task order, you bid on it, and you're one of the 5 that can only bid on that. That's a different type of contract.
You see, with that, you're always bidding against.
But you're only bidding against the 5 companies.
Yeah. Some people love that, though.
But that locks you in and allows you to but IDIQ contract typically $15, $20, $30 million type of contract. They're not small size. So think of it as a methodology of how they buy. That's it.
It was GSA 70.
GSA Schedule 70. Schedule 70.
And do you, in terms of getting on the GSA schedule, you have to have a relationship? You don't. Is that it?
GSA Schedule is about the hardest thing you will do in government contracting. Schedules are like extremely complex, harder than even the 8A. 8A is tough, but GSA Schedule is even tougher.
We just partnered with a company called VTL, and their schedule, and we're gonna leverage that. So.
Yeah. So if you're doing your GSA Schedule, I recommend getting some help on that, because if you don't do it right, then it's not gonna serve you well. So the second item is you want your core competencies. These are your services and your offerings and what you're good at. And use bullet points, keep it short, and don't make a long narrative. Your company data, a little bit brief information about your company. Highlight the key things that you're good at. For example, if you were founded in 1985, that's a key important factor about your business history. If you just started 2017, don't list your birthday. They're like, oh, you're too new, right? If you have a big facilities, talk about we have 80,000 facilities. We have 250 employees. If it's just you, if it's me, myself, and I, just the 3 of us, leave that alone. Don't talk about personnel. So it just all depends, and highlight what's important. And if you have certain technology, something unique about you, or your USP, right? List that. Corporate expertise and your differentiators, all those things are important. Put what you can on there. If you have certain certifications like in IT, ITEL, Lean, LEAD, PMP, CMMI, any of these different types of quality standards, quality assurance programs, ISOs, any of those things there. If you're financially stable, you've been around, you have no debt, you're doing well, you can talk about that. If you have bonding capacity, talk about those things there. Clients or customer, this is really your past performance. So the section is called past performance, even though I'm using clients. List out who, this subject should, or the project title, so it could be IT staffing for
network engineers, security, cloud,
cloud support, something. And the larger the companies that you list, the stronger you look to them. So if you did an IT project for AT&T, that looks strong. Now, even though AT&T may be a $10,000 project, it looks strong. If you did a project work, IT project for GCA, even though it's $100,000, list AT&T, because no one knows who we are.
Just don't put them out.
Just don't put them out, and you can be shrewd about what to disclose. Keep it where you're looking. You look strong. Now, you don't want to put name, contact information, the size of the project on your one-pager. Only do that on your long version in terms of adding those information to your capability statement. So this is a good example here for the long version. Centers for Disease Control, the name of your client, and then a quick description of the project, the amount, and then the project title, and then reference person and phone number if you know. But this is only for the long version. Don't do it in a one-pager. Now, if you have bad rapport with that project, don't list the name. Don't put the email. In fact, don't even list that project because they're gonna ask you about it, and you know they're gonna want to call that person, and you're gonna get a bad rap. So if it's not a good reference, as much as you want to list it, don't list that. And then general content information, general stuff there. So creating your capability statement, you can create it in any document you want, Word, Publisher, anything, but save it as a PDF. When you're sending it to the contracting officer, the file name is important. You want to call it C. Harper Capability Statement. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And why does the government need so much work? It's so unattractive.
I think, but they do that to eliminate people.
Of course they do, but it's so grueling on small businesses.
But right, but that's where the strong survive. Because just think, if everybody can do it, then you just have a bunch of people like, well, I put all the paperwork right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like most people, like, you know, it gets tedious and they give up.
Yeah.
I'm one of them. I'm OCD. I mean, I'm ADP.
Yeah. So even the file name is important. You don't want to call it. You know how some people, when they send out the resume, they just say resume, and they save that and say whose resume is this? They'll never get back to you, right? You want to call it Cynthia Harper resume. That's a good title for your resume if you're looking for a job. If you're looking for a project with the government, you want to call it your business name and the word capability statement. You want to make it visually interesting as much as you're able to, and use images, colors, and where you can. Now, one page is not a lot of real estate to work with, so you have to be strategic. And your title should always be capability statement. And you can put a subheader. So these are some examples. This goes into other things. So let's go back and look at some samples. All right, so let's look at capability samples. So this is a sample here. I'm gonna pull up the overview first. So your logo, title is capability statement. This is your tagline or your vision statement or something like that. Or you don't necessarily need to have that if you don't want to. Your DUNS number, your certifications, your key personnel. If you're the only person in your company, what do you put over here?
What's that?
For key personnel, you're the only person in your company.
Your board.
Yes. Your advisors, right?
Your advisors, yeah.
Your NAICS codes, your contact information. So I usually start off with your DUNS number because if they're going to reference you on SAM or on any other database, that's what they're going to use, your DUNS number. So that should be very easily found. Now your executive summary, just a brief summary of who you are and what you're about. I kind of like this. We're a small company making a big difference.
I like that.
And you can borrow this here. I actually wrote it, so you can borrow it. I'll let you steal it from me. I probably stole it from somebody else. There's not a tagline or a trademark on it, so feel free to use it. And then core competencies, just a quick overview of what you can do. And then what makes you different from everybody else, right? You got a seasoned management team, strong past performance, quality assurance program. You're profitable and strong financially. You're a veteran focused. You have a veteran focused recruiting strategy. Because if you're working with a VA, this is actually a strong statement for them. You focus on maximize ROI and other key things that you can put in there. Your past performance for this purpose, we just kind of laid it out like this here, and we're all over the place in terms of different past performance. Now let's go look at a specific one. So some of the key differences is here in our past performance, right? Since this is logistics, we're only addressing projects we work with that's tied to logistics support services. And we even eliminated some of the NAICS codes over here. The other one, we have a whole bunch of NAICS code, right? All over the place. We got wire telecom, wireless telecom, computer-related services, temporary staffing, whereas the specific one, all we're addressing is logistics. Does that make sense?
It does, and that's what the lady said who trained us at a DC on proposals. And when you go after bids, and she said that people are bidding all over the place instead of streamlining, making like logistics who they go after or certain levels of IT. And she said that companies respect it when all of your past performance kind of line up.
Yes.
Yeah. The lady who did the online call before said that, yeah. It stuck with me a lot.
All right, we've done that. All right, so let's, so that's capability statement. Now, let me show you a long version or a 2-page. Let me show you a 2-pager. This may not be the best one, but let's look at it.
It would be advantageous to buy to really have this software.
Yeah, so on the 2 pages, you see how I added more graphics to it and laid out more information. The structure is totally different, right? So now I'm able to actually put more information in here. So it's an example of a 2-pager. You need a PowerPoint capability brief. So let's assume you're using the 1-pager emailing, and someone says, "Hey, Renee, send me more information." Then in that situation, you send them the long version, the 4 to 5 pages capability statement. They say, "Hey, I'm going to give you 20 minutes. Why don't you come and do a capability brief with us?" Then you need to have a capability brief or PowerPoint, and let me pull up a sample here. One thing about the capability statement I didn't mention earlier is if you're doing a teaming partnership with somebody else, you want to create a teaming capability statement that lists 2 companies, both your DUNS number, both your past performance, and you do it that way. So if you're doing a capability statement that's a joint of 2 companies, you want to structure it appropriately. Does that make sense? So this is an example of a capability brief. So you go in here, you put in the meeting agenda, your mission statement. And this is the same thing as your capability statement. All the headers should be very similar, but you just add more details and you turn it into a PowerPoint. That's really it. It's your capability statement turned into a PowerPoint. Certifications you have, your core competencies, different solutions that you have, your NAICS code. You go into more details of what you do. This is actually an IT company, and they do all these different things here. Now, this is breaking the rules a little bit. In a PowerPoint, you should normally never have letters that's smaller than a 20 point. Ideally, in a PowerPoint, 30 points is usually the right size text. And this is breaking the rules a little bit here, but I just want to mention that. So, past performance. And sometimes you list out the words of the company, but sometimes it's better to put the logos and the brand itself, because that's stronger than even the words. All right, so that's the example. Now, let's talk about the next item. You need a capability video. Who has a capability video? Nobody. Uh-oh. So you'll need a capability video. I'll give you an example here.
Okay, then. A little graphic work.
Oh, what happened to the sound?
Well, now that we have that relationship with Zandvon company, we can get capability statements very, very easy. Of course, they're not that difficult to do either. Yeah, phones.
But again, the short version of it is taking your one pager and just turning it into slides and recording it and putting audio over it. Ideally, is no more than 2 minutes. If you're over 2 minutes, your capability statement is too long, or your capability video is too long. 1 minute to 1.5 is okay. 2 minutes if you're long, but anything longer than that is probably too long. Now, you can have 2 variations of your capability video. You can have a short version for marketing purposes, and you can have a long version if somebody wants to learn more about you. So when you're emailing, you should always include your capability video as your signature.
Really?
Yeah, because that just makes it easier for people to click and play.
More flash.
Yeah.
So I go in your emails, I just have my LinkedIn.
Yeah, Facebook and social media.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that you put your capability in one.
Yeah. So
have your capability video at the end of your email.
as your part of your signature.
Part of your signature.
So usually you have your phone number, email, website, your video link. Okay, where am I? Oh, back here. All right, so that's your capability video. You need a capability website.
What? I know about those other things. The capability website?
Your website.
Oh, just your website.
Your website needs to speak to government buyers. So in terms of your website, you can create your own website, or GCA can build your website for you. If you don't have one, we can build it for you, save you time and money. We don't charge you for the design, we just charge you for the hosting. So design fee is normally $1,500. We build it out for you. You just pay hosting. So what does it need to look like? So I put some samples in here. So Krista actually, she built her own. I taught her what she needs to do, so she built her own. And she used Wix to build her site. So she comes on here, she has a government tab. When I say you need to have a capability website, I mean you need to have a government tab on your website. That's the key difference. So you click on the government tab. It talks about your DUNS number. It's like your big capability statement, but it's on your website. But it's got your capabilities, your teaming, your past performance, and certifications. And click on capabilities. She's got her capability video on her capabilities page. And for some reason my audio.
Untrue.
Is this on mute or something? Maybe it's not. Let's see. No, it's not on mute. I just don't have time to troubleshoot it. But your capability video is on here, and you need to be able to download your capability statement. So the thing for, she needs that big button here. This is too small. And then you can download your capability statement right on your site like this here.
I love watching her site. I've been there. Get some information from it. It's pretty cool.
And another example site is, this one is overkill, but it makes a point. So Competencies, they got the bomber, they got the jets, they got the government tab, they got the camouflage instead of just regular white or gray sidebars here. Capabilities, now in the commercial market we call it what? Services, right? In the government market we call it capabilities. Contract vehicles, we don't have a commercial equivalency. Past performance, what do we call in the commercial market?
The history, the
portfolio, case studies, clients, right? In the government, they call it past performance. Partners, not critical. I mean, partners can be commercial or government. But the important thing, again, is the government tab. You click on the government tab, they list out the capabilities, contract vehicles, STARS 2, EFAS, GSA schedule, C4E, certifications.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they win a lot of business.
They do 95% of their business with the government, and you know he's done millions and millions of government contracts.
Millions.
Yeah. So yeah, so this is actually a site that I project manage for him, and so a lot of this content. So you know it's good stuff that that speaks to government buyers. And then this is a little bit different type of site here. This is more of, I don't know, oh, they update their site. Good.
That's good looking.
Yeah, so, you know, logistics, supply chain. So they use the yin yang symbol, and then they turn it into their, you know, they turn it into their symbols. You see the S in between? And so Zandvon source took some thoughts to do that. And yeah, so they got some certifications. Yep. But again, no right or wrong, but the key thing is have a government tab. And then your business cards needs to look a certain way. And then we're gonna end here. And next week we'll start with marketing. So business cards needs to have your DUNS number on the front. And then the back needs to have your NAICS codes and different certifications that you have. That would be ideal. Again, no right or wrong. You can do it any way you want, but I'm just showing you best practice in terms of marketing collateral that speaks to government buyers. Can you win a contract without a business card that speaks to government buyers? Yeah, of course. Do you need a capability statement to win a contract?
Yes.
No.
No, not really.
You don't.
You need a relationship.
Do you need a capability video? No. Do you need a capability brief? No. You don't need any stuff. There's only 3 things you need to do. What are those 3 things?
Have a business.
Have a business.
Be in SAM.
Be in SAM. And submit a proposal. That's it. Those are the only 3 things you need to win a contract.
I want to know how many people that didn't have a capability statement won a contract. 0.
But it's all about relationships, though.
You win. Yeah.
You don't have a capability statement, they're going to say just what you said.
Yeah.
You don't have a capability.
Yeah. So, but your chances of winning consistently is not great. You win 1 out of 22. That's the norm. 1 out of 22. The companies that we work with, they're winning about 1 out of 6. So your chances are a lot better. All right, so that's all we have for today. Next week, we're going to continue with promotion. In fact, actually, next week, I'll be out of town. So Richard is going to do a class. It won't be on this year. We're going to do a class on finances next week, on getting your finances together and all the other things. So I think next week, that's the class. But when I get back the following week, we'll continue with marketing and promotion. All right, folks, thanks for joining us. Good having everybody here. I'm going to sign off. And we're going to end this here right